Oh, these kids with their Digimon.
Today, This American Dice presents Dungeon World, After the Last Battle, Episode 5. Down in the catacombs, our brave heroes face swarming hordes of ferocious fecundate foes. Plus, how many Dirks is too many? And is Rosco's Achilles heel his vanity? I hope not. Find out what happens today on This American Dice.
I got a goblin, not for you and me. I got a goblin, smells like poop and pee. I got a goblin, always gnawing on me. Will somebody get rid of this goblin? Oh, my kind of goblin rocks around the clock. He got a little green head and a little green cock. My kind of goblin's gonna fuck a rock. Will somebody get rid of this goblin? I got a goblin, not for you but me. I got a goblin loving he. I got a goblin want it grinding on me. I think I fell in love with this goblin. Oh, my kind of goblin making sweet, sweet love. Gonna need a gauntlet, not just a glove. My little goblin and me like a two turtle dove. But ain't it legal to marry a goblin? I got a goblin for you and me. I got a goblin smells like poop and pee. I got a goblin always gnawing on me. Will somebody get rid of this goblin? I got a goblin for you and me. I got a goblin.
Dungeon World, After the Last Battle is filmed in front of a live studio audience.
Episode 5. Crisis of Infinite Dirks. Or, I'm starting with the mage in the mirror.
You've kind of wandered through these labyrinthine caverns, and so it's not just like you're going down one long like pipe. You've encountered several different chambers and such. I think at this point, like from nearby, I think maybe like a half a dozen of these goblins show up, and these goblins are they're these short, like between 2 and 2.5 foot tall, and creatures with like kind of gray green skin, and I think that they kind of very labyrinth style all look wildly different. Like they barely look like they're the same species. Like some are very fat, some are very thin. Some have like facial hair. Others look more like some other kind of animal.
Like human beings? Like
yes.
What? They're fat and thin. They got, you're racist, Dustin. You're racist against goblins. Right.
Eat your fudgicle.
Always do.
But yeah, so
can I tell these goblins? Can I be like, "Oh, we've been waiting for you, goblins. Top of the morning to you," and then I'll doff my goblin skull hat.
Sure. What are you trying to accomplish with that? Just to piss them off?
Trying to scare them shitless. That's what I'm trying to do.
I think they're not. I don't know. I don't think that'll work. So rather than have you roll for that, I think that one's not going to work. I think these goblins kind of show up, and
can I drench some of the blood that I'm covered in into the skull and then drink it while laughing maniacally?
Just because he's thirsty, not for bonuses. Just
yeah. I think you do that. You're trying to scare them, and you're like playing with this head and the fact that several of the goblins are dead. It just seems to like sexually excite the goblins. They just get like weirdly into this.
I can understand that.
And I think like the 6 or so of them are heading towards you, and each they have a little like daggers. One has just a stick with a rock on the end of it. One has a stick with a scorpion tied to the end of it. And yeah, I think they're like chittering in like a crazy language, like they're making like insane sounds, and they kind of like hop and rush toward you.
Yeah.
And
right, come on.
Does it seem like they're friendly?
Yes. Are you trying to discern
reality?
Yeah, go ahead, Carl. Try to discern some realities.
Yeah,
okay. Do it better.
They don't teach this in college, kid.
Unless you went to Goblin College.
But one of those goblins are gibbering in Japanese.
Oh, I got an 11, so I'll definitely know for sure the truth of it one way or another.
Plus, you get a +1 forward when you act upon those answers.
All right, what is it? Good, bad, curious?
What? That's not one of the questions.
Look at the questions, moron.
Yeah,
I
so
gotta
you can
find
ask
this question.
3 of these questions. It's just in the chat thing. It popped up.
Okay. What here is useful or valuable to me?
An escape route will be particularly useful because you hear that these are not all of the goblins.
Okay. Who's really in control here?
Jesus.
Ragnar, who shapes and molds all things according to his will.
My entire world comes crumbling down. From this roll.
Yeah, exactly. Who's really in control here? That's kind of a tough one to answer.
Like maybe is there a leader, perhaps?
Like all-knowing Ragnar?
Oh, you realize like you're looking at them and you've not maybe had like personal dealings with goblins, like personally dealt with them, but you kind of like remember some stuff that people have said and you're like, yeah, that's definitely true. Goblins are just this like nasty, violent, multiplying mass that seems to never go away.
So racist.
Nor does it seem to have, nor do they seem to be much organized in any capacity. So they're just kind of like, so you kind of see them and realize like, oh, they don't really have a leader. They're just like
They vote by consensus. They're a truly democratic society.
they're a vicious, nasty mob.
All right. Last one. What here is not what it appears to be?
Damn it! What here is
sorry.
What it? You're good.
Which of these walls is actually an escape route I can conveniently use?
What here is not what it appears to be.
All of
You
reality.
believe in Ragnar, son.
Yeah, all of reality is just a tribunal through which Ragnar tests the unfaithful.
Yeah, you're in the Matrix. Morpheus is talking to you. What here is not what it appears to be.
One of these goblins is a cross-dresser.
Yeah, one of these goblins is a liar.
Yeah.
One of these goblins just lies a lot.
Yeah.
What here is not
He's
what it
actually a
appears to be.
vegetarian and he's trying to go along with his friends.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, these goblins are a pain in the ass, but they're definitely they have nothing to do with the globalists or your quest. Yeah, they are perhaps an obstacle to overcome, but they have no connection to that in the slightest.
I'll turn to the party member and say, I've gained great insight into these goblins. Now listen, we need to either run or kill them.
Well, you know, remember, yeah. Like I said, you do know there's way more of them.
I say,
There's
they're not the only ones.
as far as I'm concerned.
All right, Jeff charges in and hacks and slashes the goblins that are in front of him.
Can I
All
help
right.
him?
Cool. Yeah, absolutely. But let's have Jeff roll first. Jeffrey, roll. Pretty
But
good.
but I also add that to it.
For your roll?
Well,
Or for damage.
that's for damage, I guess. That's added to damage, I guess.
Okay, so that's your damage. All right, so you run in towards these goblins. Go ahead and roll your. What do you roll? A D10 for damage as a fighter. What you roll at? Motherfucker?
Immolator. All right, fighter. So hack and slash. Wait, where would it tell me this? That's the druid.
It's up at the top. A D10. You got it. So go ahead and roll a D10, and we'll add the 6 to that.
Well, actually, that doesn't make the merciless. Okay, hang on a second. So it doesn't really make sense. I don't know how I got a 6 on that. I rolled my merciless, and that's supposed to just be a D4. So, all right, here's my D10, and then I roll another D4 and add that to it.
Okay. And then do you want to possibly open yourself up, expose yourself to the enemy's attack, and do an additional 1d6?
No, I don't.
Okay. So I think that Jeff wades into these goblins with Daughter, and he easily dispatches half of them.
Like,
what does that look like?
well, if you've ever seen, I don't know, once you get in your 30s, you might have some experience mowing a lawn or scything a lawn. And it just looks like picking up something that's like really heavy and just like dragging it across the ground, and just seeing like everything in front of you, like tall grass, just laying down.
Nice.
Yeah. So he's like siphoning the lawn, basically.
What's Jeff's cool catchphrase that he says when he kills half these goblins?
Hello.
Yeah, why not? Hello.
All right. Yeah, so he swings this flail around and he's scything through them, and then he just says, "Hello."
That's good. That's bad.
Yeah, and I think the other three goblins like go like, "Ah!" And they like kind of scatter. Two of them run into each other. The other one kind of like runs back. And
wait,
then the
Austin, I actually missed out on some damage there. So
what do you mean?
So I don't know if that makes.
Yeah. Okay. You kill one more. Big deal.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if it's a big deal, but I had 1 damage, and then it's also messy and forceful.
Oh, okay, yeah. So the goblin body parts are flung everywhere, and like 2 of them bash into each other as they're like trying to like somewhat spooked.
That would have been 10. That would have gotten a total of 10 there.
Okay, one runs away. The other gets up to kind of like try to halt your progress, and it's the one with the scorpion on a stick, and it's kind of like waving it at you, going like shrieking like. And then the other one is like gnawing on the leg of one of the goblins you just killed.
Can I yell at the one that's running away and be like, "Oh, you won't run away when I'm drinking the skull of your friend, but he says hello, and you're like hauling us out of here," you know?
All right. Yep. Yeah.
That's how I spend my turn.
Okay.
Just telling you.
So there's just the one. There's one goblin gnawing on one of its dead compatriots, dead fellows' bones, and the other one with a scorpion on a stick, and it's flailing it about nearby. It doesn't represent particularly a danger on its own at the moment.
Is there a way I could try to communicate with one of them?
Absolutely. And in fact, I think just based on how well you did with that previous stuff, you're like, oh yeah, I remember learning Goblin, and I took Goblin 101 at Wizard College.
All right, I'll say to the one waving the stick and like looking at us, say like, we don't want to hurt you. We just want to keep going. We be friends. And
I think this goblin's like, oh, that's super cool. That's awesome. You guys seem like a bunch of awesome dudes. But it's still waving this stick with a scorpion at you as like you're coming near it. It's like trying to whack at you with this scorpion. And you remember like your professor, Professor Dirk Dinklebeard.
Oh, Dirk.
His name was also.
All right. There's only one Dirk in this mythical universe.
Right. Yeah. His name was also Dirk. It was weird.
It was short for Derek.
Yeah. Derek Dinklebeard. That's what it was.
It was my dad. And now he's dead.
Derek
Dinklebeard. The Rounders killed him.
We all have fathers.
After I wouldn't betray him. I wouldn't betray my dad. You know, they killed him.
Dirk Dinklebeard. You realize
I'm Dirk the Second, but I took the name Savage after they killed my father.
Yeah. You realize as you're remembering Professor Dirk Dinklebeard, you're like, oh my God, he looks exactly like Dirk. Nah, yeah. Can't be. They have different last names. But you remember that he was like, yeah, all right, you see, and he was just drinking while he was going through his lecture, and he's like, yeah, the thing about goblins that you got to remember is goblins are assholes, straight up. And you're like, oh yeah, goblins are assholes.
All right, so
basically just like their entire existence is like gross goblin fornication, eating, and violence.
I'll say to this goblin, listen, I want to be friends, but if you and your friends mess with us anymore, we're going to have to kill all of you, and you'll never eat anything or bang anything or eat things you have banged ever again. So tell your buddies or we're coming for you.
And they're like, I think this goblin's just like you guys seem super cool. You're the best. I hope we're friends forever. And he's still trying to whack you with this stick. And I think he does whack you with this stick, but luckily the scorpion doesn't sting you. He just whacks you with like the equivalent of a ruler. And you're like, ow, my leg. But yeah, the big thing that you do notice is as the other goblin is like finishing off the meat from the one of the goblin carcasses, you hear that chittering grow way, way louder. And pretty soon, as Gritta maybe turns and like looks in that direction, the helm catches the eyes of what have to be dozens and dozens of goblins.
Let's kill them all. We killed like 5 or 10 without batting an eye. Let's just.
I want to die down here.
Yeah, Jeff leaps into the fray.
Jeff's gonna leap in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I'll charge right behind him.
Okay, so Jeff, could you make a defy danger with strength roll?
Okay.
The danger is being absolutely torn to shreds by these goblins.
And so I roll my constitution?
So strength.
Can I help him?
Yeah, but just go ahead and wait. You don't need to. Yeah, so Jeff,
Yeah, I don't want to.
Yeah, you leap into the fray of these like what have to be like 36 goblins. And you kind of like leap in among them and are swinging daughter around and are kicking goblins and bashing them with your shield. And Jeff's big, Jeff's strong. He's a skilled warrior. He's kicking these goblins' asses, but just more and more of them keep coming. And pretty soon, the thing that's going to happen is, Jeff, you just realize you're not going to be able to just kill your way out of these goblins.
I'll be like,
let's kill our way out of these goblins.
Yeah.
I communicate for a living.
Yeah, Jeff takes the quill from his hand, throws it, tinkle toes, and says, make sure my daughter gets this.
But you're holding your daughter.
Yeah. No, yeah.
So wait, you have an actual daughter? You need to explain this.
Yeah. All right. So I guess what Jeff's gonna do is like ask for help.
All right. So, well, at the moment you're gonna have to do something else because I think these goblins have at this point, Jeff, like surrounded you, and there's you're like surrounded by these literally dozens of goblins. Meanwhile, everybody else, Rosco and Gritta and Dirk, you see that Jeff like threw himself into this fray, but every time he bashes down another goblin or knocks another one off his back, like another one leaps onto his leg and grabs at him and starts trying to bite through his armor, or another one starts throwing rocks at him. And you guys realize that he's big, he's strong, he's skilled, but it's only a matter of time before these things they either kill him or they just drown him under the weight of their own bodies.
When I discerned realities, I learned that this place was older than the round castle that is on top of it. Is there any way I can use like the age and decrepitness of these catacombs around us to our advantage to like collapse some section or some shit like that?
Sure, if you want to try to collapse some of the stuff, you could try to do that in some way or another. Do you want to try to help, like to save Jeff? Is that part of the game plan?
That's the entire reason I'm doing this. Okay,
so I think that if you're trying to defy the danger through some quick thinking here,
absolutely,
we could do that. Hold on, or actually, we could say maybe that you're defending him, but defying danger sounds like it would work out like a little quicker than having you make that thing. With quick thinking is actually an intelligence roll.
Yeah, let's do it.
Go for it.
I rolled a 9.
You rolled a 9.
Wait, does anybody want to help me? That would push me over to 10.
Hell yeah, I'll help you.
All right.
I'll be like, help me. When I was observing these catacombs, I'll give you the same speech I just gave everyone else.
Got a 9.
All right. So okay, so this kicks it up to a 10.
All right.
How about like I'm shooting an arrow and he's like magically doing something?
Sure.
With the arrow or with the thing that I'm hitting?
Sure, you have a bow and arrow.
Oh,
Yeah, you notice that
do I
there's
have
like
a bow and arrow? Yes.
you notice that there's a bunch of rocks kind of precariously perched up on something, and you're like, this place is so old. I bet if I just hit that with an arrow, it'll all come tumbling down.
Mm-hmm. And then
that is
Carl leaps in, and he's like, those rocks are +3 against goblins.
Yeah. So, I think, Rosco comes over and says, like, don't forget, there's no wind down here. Don't try to adjust for wind. And you're like, thanks.
There's no Coriolis effect because the Earth is flat.
I'd be like, thanks, I never do. I'm a very bad shot.
And you fire an arrow off, and it hits these rocks, and a bunch of them are able to kind of like, a bunch of them fall down around Jeff and kind of like either crush these goblins or like kind of like create a barrier between him and the majority of these goblins. So Jeff, at the moment, you've gotten a reprieve from this massive horde of goblins.
I'll be like,
Jeff,
Jeff, leap over this bridge that I've created so you can get to more goblins and kill them all.
Now we're talking, kid.
All right. So Gritta realizes how glorious it would be to be ripped apart by the clawed hands of so many enemies, or to rend them asunder, as Jeff has done so many times that he's covered head to toe in their blood. But these aren't the enemies that you're heading to fight. These are kind of like mindless, dumb, idiot creatures. This would be barely more glorious than being torn apart by a pack of dogs. And you look around at like the number, and you hear that like chittering, and Gritta realizes, like, I've been in some fights. There's too many of these goblins.
You didn't have to tell me. I think so. Is Jeff free of these people yet?
Yeah, I see. I think we look over, and like enough rocks have fallen on some of them that things are quiet for now. Jeff kicks one of the goblins away, and it falls down.
Yeah. So I think in that case, Gritta, she was prepared to go and grab him, and maybe she does just like grab him by the shirt or something. Just like, all right, that was good work, but one thing that Ragnar says about fighting is it's good to fight over and over. And if you go in there, you're just going to get eaten alive. Let's go. You have to actually fight what we came here to fight. And just kind of pulls him away. And then leaves. I think our only option is to go further into this.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've taken shits that were bigger and greener than these.
You should see a doctor.
All right. So you guys can kind of like keep trying to get the hell out of there for sure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. So you guys kind of run away or continue to run towards the direction that Gritta had kind of pointed you in from before. But Gritta, could you make? I think like the thing is that these catacombs are pretty confusing, and Ragnar had given you a general direction to head in. The problem is it's not a straight shot, and so keeping yourself on track is going to be tough. So I think that's going to require some kind of serious effort. So I think that's going to be you're going to have to make sure you don't get lost, and probably like defy the danger of just getting lost in these catacombs. Certainly off track from where you were.
Sure. Is that, well, I guess the way she's doing it is just trying to follow the lead of Ragnar.
Okay. I think that would be either intelligence or wisdom. So I think if you're trying to like further interpret things, like to get that info from Ragnar, it might be intelligence. But if you're just trying to hold that direction in your head, it's probably more wisdom.
Oh, I'll go wisdom then.
Okay.
It's up to me.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So there's a few times where like you guys.
Can I help? Can I like modify the light to like sort of like points in like more more acutely in certain directions when we're at a crossroads and that kind of thing?
Why not?
All right. There you go.
Damn. Okay. So you can make sure that you do not get lost at all. Maybe like somebody starts to head down the way, like the incorrect direction, and Gritta's like, "No, this way. Come on, by the blooded beard of Ragnar, this way."
This is Dr. Steny Gameshko with a mid-episode health tip. Carpal tunnel syndrome is a plague on this nation. There's perhaps no bigger health concern in America than carpal tunnel syndrome. Now, I know all of you are diligently typing out every word and strange noise that you're hearing in this episode for the archives, but I'm going to have to ask you to take a break, stretch, warm your wrists by perhaps putting them into a warm bath of Epsom salt water, then really massage the fingies. That's going to be important. Once you're ready to go, dry your hands. You don't want to get your computer wet. That's not going to be good for anybody. Then hop back on board and really get going. Thank you. This has been Steny Gameshko.
So you guys kind of flee from these goblins, and following Gritta's lead.
It's so many XP that we can level up right now.
You travel down these corridors until eventually it no longer just seems like a cave. You arrive in kind of a large chamber. Most of the ceilings and most of the caverns that you had been in, like I said, are only like 6.5, 7 feet tall. So like Jeff, who's very tall, is like has to take his helmet off to walk through them. There are parts that he has to like duck down under. Maybe some of the other folks do as well. But all of a sudden, it opens up tremendously into this large, like man-made space. There are steps that lead down towards the bottom, where there's a space that's maybe 15 to 20 feet square. The ceiling of this is also arched, and it's arched into almost a like more Romanesque buildings where they're kind of vaulted. That's the term, like vaulted ceiling that comes to like a peak. And down at the bottom, there is a statue, and it is a statue of like a large, like almost like a tiger or a lion looking creature. That's very like stylized, and it's maybe about as tall as like a man is tall, and in front of it is a chest.
All right, can I detect magic?
So that's where, you guys have arrived.
Let me search for danger on that old chest, or someone does something stupid.
All right. So
I'm gonna survey this old situation over here for a couple of 3 dangers, and I rolled a 6.
You rolled a 6.
You know, want to help me right now? Actually, no.
Now he wants to know.
No, I don't. Let's see what happens.
Okay. All right. So, Dirk, you're kind of looking around at this, and you're kind of slowly walking down here real carefully. Mm-hmm. You're kind of watching where you put your feet to make sure there's any like...
Oh, that's gold gilding. Don't have to search for traps on gold gilded chests.
Yeah.
Problem solved.
Well, yeah, you make sure to step very carefully. You look down at the chest, and you're kind of like, okay, I don't think that there's necessarily any traps here, but picking this lock might be a little bit tough. And you start to pick the lock,
mm-hmm.
and you're able to kind of like open it, and it pops open. But when it pops open,
I'm filled with, my hands are filled with so much gold. I don't know what to do.
When it pops open, there's like a blindingly fast flash in front of you, and you're like, "What the hell?"
It's gold.
Like a small like a wire has sliced one of your fingers off.
Now I only have 7 fingers left. This is terrible.
Right. So you only take 2 damage. You're down a finger, and that's kind of a pain in the ass at the moment. And that finger kind of flops onto the floor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's the middle finger on my left hand.
It's the middle finger on Dirk's left hand that's flopped onto the floor.
Yeah, that's the one I use on chests. So that's gonna be tough. Gonna have to use the finger on my right hand now.
So now he's missing. He's down a finger.
And that could go over the wrong way because that's an obscene gesture in our land.
Yeah, of not having a middle finger.
No, using the middle finger on your right hand.
Okay, just using it at all.
Yeah.
Right. But
I mean,
I'll come back to the group and I'll be like, look, the bad news is I couldn't really get that the chest open too well. The good news is it had a middle finger in it, and I'll throw it to Rosco.
Rosco, the middle finger starts to vibrate, and I assume you probably let it go as you don't want to hold this bloody finger.
No.
And it starts to vibrate and then move, and pretty quickly you see it starts to grow.
Oh no!
And it pretty soon it's not just a middle finger; it's a palm, and then that palm grows 4 other fingers, and it starts to stretch up and starts to be growing.
I was trying to
almost
contain it.
Wait, yeah,
Put a hat over it.
Can I high five it with the half of my hand that's left?
Well, half of your hand.
Well, I mean, I lost a couple of few
50%
fingers
of my
before
hand.
this game even started. All right,
True enough. Yeah. So you only have a couple of fingers. Right.
I got like thumb, index finger, ring finger. Yeah.
No wonder it's such a poor shot.
Yeah. Yeah. You're just like really.
Hey, I saved Alex's life. All right.
yeah.
Yeah. So you go to high five it, and by the time you've high fived it, it's got like a shoulder and like a torso has started to grow, and this is happening pretty quickly, and it's almost like expanding and growing. Like,
does it
if you've
look
ever
like me?
Pretty quickly, eventually you see a face that looks exactly like Dirk, and
this
eventually
is like a transporter dilemma.
quickly stands up
because that new one is me.
I say, "Hello, new Dirk."
And he's like,
"So, would you like to adventure with us?"
What are you guys even staring at? You guys look stupid.
Yeah, we do. Look at my finger.
Yeah. Oh, nice finger.
Yeah.
How many fingers does this one have?
This one has 8 fingers. One additional
Seems like a more useful
finger.
Okay,
Jeff.
okay, Dirk, listen to me.
Dirk.
I'll be like, Dirk, listen to me. Go over to that chest, and when you come back as a copy of you, you'll have 9 fingers. All right, now, hold on. Then you tell the copy of you that comes out, all right, to go back to that chest. He'll have 10 fingers. Problem solved. Think about it.
Is that a good plan?
I mean, it's 3 too many fingers, but we should start there, right?
He goes, this guy's gone insane, is what he says to the rest of you.
I say, I barely recognize old Dirk. New Dirk seems like he's got a good head on his shoulders.
He's not wrong. I'll tell you that much.
And he's like, this is nuts. So,
I say, new Dirk, what's your middle name?
And he says Dirk's middle name, which is?
Very.
I want to say Dairy?
No, very.
Very. Dirk, very savage. He goes, very. Yeah, he says that. Very.
Yep. He's the real deal.
I say, Well, it seems like we need a Dirk off. It's for, like, I'm pretty sure that's
Dirk off?
How flat would you say this Earth is, Dirk? Like the opposite of your middle name? Would you say that's a pretty good way of describing it?
And he's like, I don't know. After I had that whole conversion with this stuff about Ragnar, I don't know if this is I don't know if I really care about all that stuff.
New Dirk, what do you know about that chest?
He's like, that one that I just tried to open?
Yeah, can I go over there for a second and cut my other finger off and create another clone of me?
I think nothing happens if you go over there and fuck around with the chest again.
Jesus.
Is there anything in the chest?
Ooh, is there anything in the chest? There is a mirror inside the chest.
I say, Dirk.
Like
Dirk
a
1, Dirk
handheld
2.
mirror.
Come here. I want to hold the mirror up to both the Dirks.
And I'll be like, we look pretty damn good in there.
Do you look in the mirror first, Rosco?
Yeah. Just test it.
All right.
You know?
So you look in the mirror, and the big issue is, it's like you just notice how incredibly beautiful you are.
Despite all the boils the witch gave me?
Yeah. You're like, you know what? That's only added character to my face. And when people see this, they're not going to think there's the guy that created like fantasy Agent Orange. Instead, they're going to think, you know what? This is a guy who's been through a lot. He's learned a lot of things. He's got a face that says that.
People 10 fingers. All of his fingers.
All of his fingers. People are going to be throwing themselves at this guy. And like, you're just like, all you can think about is how you're like, you know what? This trip has really changed me and changed me for the better. I'm really excited. And like that dialogue is going on and on and on. To you guys, to Jeff and the Dirks and Gritta. Yeah, Rosco picked up a mirror, like a little handheld mirror, and he's just staring into it for like 10 minutes.
Can the Dirks be silently playing that game where you put like a dagger between your fingers like this, like as quickly as you can go?
Yeah.
But Dirk 1 is just much better at it than Dirk 2.
Because his left fingers.
Yeah.
He's got like 3 options.
He's like, oh, I gotta check in.
Yeah. So there's 7-fingered Dirk and 8-fingered Dirk. And yeah, 7-fingered Dirk is doing a lot better than 8-fingered Dirk.
Yeah, except for the blinding pain in his middle finger.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, yeah, but every now and again I got to stop to hold it above my heart.
Yeah, and cough and cry.
Yeah.
I'm into this. I'm not stopping. These are great.
Right. So that's what's going on. You got 2 Dirks and you got Rosco staring at this mirror.
That's good. This is good.
All right, we can call it there, right? Just kidding.
Yeah, we're all set.
Yeah, I'll just take this mirror away. This isn't good.
All right. Rosco, one of those goblins is attacking you.
I magic missile it.
All right. So go ahead and make your roll. And I assume, all right, 7. That works really well because I assume Gritta doesn't want to get magic missiled, right?
Prefer not to.
Okay, so why don't you try to interfere with that roll, unless you're cool with getting magic missiled?
No, I'll try and interfere. That sounds good.
Okay.
Can one of the Dirks help and one of the Dirks hinder?
That's exactly what's happening.
Neutral effect. 7-fingered Dirk is like, yeah, magic missile.
No, they're both just helping and hindering at the same time.
So you're just rolling +1, right, Deej?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey, there we go. All right, so Rosco blasts off this blast of magic missile, and it like slams into the back of the area, and I think like a huge pillar comes crashing down, and you guys have to jump out of the way or get out of the way, or you could just allow yourselves to be crushed by this pillar of stone that's falling.
Not me. Can I save Dirk number 2 from getting crushed by that pillar?
So, you want to stand in defense of the other Dirk?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So what are the other folks
Wonder
doing?
Dirks unite.
Yeah, we got a Dirk off happening. I know somebody already made that joke, but what are Rosco and Jeff and also Gritta doing about this collapsing thing?
Oh, is it going to fall on all of us?
Yeah, I think it's like a massive enough pillar where like it and like a chunk of the roof are going to fall down. You knew you had that magic power in you, Rosco. People doubted you.
Yeah,
but you knew you had it.
Ooh, I'll climb in the chest and close it.
Okay, so you're gonna try to jump into the chest.
Yep.
All right, so I think that's going to be a defy danger with dexterity.
Yeah. You nick your hand, and now there are 2 of you.
Really thought that'd be an intelligence roll because it was so smart. 12. Oh, what's up? I'm a freaking contortionist.
All right, Rosco leaps into this chest. We didn't say how big it was. I was imagining it was only like the size of a shoebox, but let's have it be big enough for a human to fit in. So Rosco, so this thing's falling down. Rosco leaps, still staring in the mirror. Rosco leaps into this chest and closes it on himself as rocks clatter against it. Luckily, it's very well constructed and doesn't just absolutely just become a coffin. How about Gritta?
Yeah, I feel like the only thing to do is really to run away.
Okay, so it sounds like it's another also defy danger via dexterity.
Oh no.
Ooh. All right. Cool. All right. How about Jeff? What's Jeff doing to prevent being crushed?
I'm going to jump out of the way.
All right. So you're also doing a dexterity defy danger. All right. Cool. So, I think one of the things that happens is Jeff takes 4 damage. But the bigger thing here is the bigger thing is Jeff takes 4 damage, but when Gritta kind of jumps out of the way, she gets out of the way from the like falling debris, but she touches this like lion or tiger statue. Mm-hmm. And like as she's kind of backing up and she kind of stumbles away from it, like all these rocks fall and kind of clatter near it. And that's when you notice that this lion statue seems to start moving. And Gritta's in a situation where either she's going to have to be right in this creature's sights as it starts like menacingly moving forward and kind of like awakening, or it's either going to be Gritta or Jeff. Or the Dirks. She's going to have to basically decide who this creature is pointed at.
Oh, yeah. No. Gritta would never put that on anyone else. She's going to get right there and ask Ragnar for her blessing so she can put this creature on.
All right. Let me come back to you in just a moment. All right. Meanwhile, the Dirks. Seven-fingered Dirk is trying to stand in defense of eight-fingered Dirk.
Well, I think what seven-fingered Dirk sees is he's like,
Seven of Dirk.
He's like the statue's collapsing. All of my friends are in danger, including this perfect, beautiful clone of myself. This like transporter dilemma version of me, where it's like a slightly better version of me, and so he's just gonna do the right thing, and he's gonna jump and replace that column that just got destroyed with his body, and get crushed if it needs to be, but just to keep the whole group alive. That's what he's gonna do.
Are we experiencing a cave-in?
So I mean, part of the stuff falls down on you guys, but
you're not going to experience cave-in because Dirk 7 is going to save you. He's about to do that.
Whether we need it or not.
Screaming Ragnar son.
Okay, so I'm still trying to figure out if this would be better as like a defy danger, where you're trying to help other people and the danger is other people being harmed, or if you're standing in defense of your friends.
Having a quick look at both of those. Give me a second.
Yeah, because it seems like you're more worried about them than yourself.
That's right.
And so it kind of seems more like a defend roll.
Yeah, I'd take that.
Okay, so go ahead and make a defend roll, which is plus Constitution.
All right. Let's do it.
All right. 8. Okay, cool. So you get to choose one of those options. Redirect an attack from the thing you defend to yourself, have the attack's effect or damage, open up the attacker to an ally, giving that ally +1 forward against the attacker, or deal damage to the attacker equal to your level.
None of these really make much sense.
So you could redirect that attack to yourself.
I'll do that, I guess.
Okay.
What would deal damage to the attacker equal to your level?
Yeah, that part doesn't quite make fully sense. All right, so you're standing in defense of these other folks.
Yeah.
If you want to If you want to say retroactively, you can have taken the 4 damage that Jeff took. You push him out of the way.
I'm going to take it all.
Okay.
Pile it out.
All right. So instead of Jeff taking that 4 damage, Dirk, 7 of Dirk takes it.
So I take 3 damage?
So you, do you have armor?
Yeah.
Yes. You take 3 damage.
And now what about Dirk 2? Was he going to take damage? Because I got to take that too, you know? That's what, that's what this has all been about.
Ooh. That's right, because it is to you're saying these folks.
I mean, what I was kind of hoping to do was have my guy die, and I would play Dirk 2 from now on.
All right, so you actually are going to take an additional 2 damage.
All right. So 5 altogether?
So taking 5 total, yeah.
Got it. Yeah. Oof. Spicy meatball.
All right.
Did we heal anything when we rested last time?
Yes, you healed half your maximum hit points.
Okay. Cool.
So you started this game off with that, or this session. All right. So meanwhile, Gritta wants to ask Ragnar for Ragnar's favor. What's the game plan here?
Yeah, I think I was going to cast magic weapon on her.
Okay. Go for it.
I don't know if that's a roll of performance. No. All right, well, that's the spell, but here's the roll.
All right. Cool. So yeah. So what's the name? What's the name of your hammer?
It's a good question. I'll have to come up with that.
We said that. Yeah, I don't know if we said that last time. But it starts to glow and we hear that metal music play, like the and
just as the smoke clears from this pillar and roof falling down.
Gritta's just holding this glowing hammer with those like red runes all over it. And and what's the game plan here now that you've gotten this thing glowing up and all horny?
I think she just does a roar at this tiger creature.
All right. And I think it turns itself and roars back at you. And
you see it was half tiger, half human looking, or is it all tiger all the time?
No, it's like a big stone like tiger or lion, but it's like really stylized. So I don't think it's just some kind of like large cat creature.
It was like Tony the tiger.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna be dead. Yeah. But so then you're like hoping to attack this creature?
Yeah, if it comes near me at all, I got my hammer ready and
it definitely is. So I think it is ready to leap at you. All right, so that sounds like a hack and slash roll to me.
Fine with this.
Oh, pretty good, huh? Pretty sneaky, sis.
So I get that plus a little extra.
Plus a D4, right? Yeah.
Nice.
All right, that's pretty good. Yeah,
you know what? I think I'm gonna open myself up to danger too.
Sounds good. All right, so 9 plus, so it's 13 total.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, so I think maybe as the reason why she's exposing herself is she waits for the last possible second to hit it, so she can hit it in the right on the head or something, maybe.
Yeah, and I think that you go to do that and you smash this thing down on its head, and its head basically is just like. And I'm glad that you had this hammer, because if somebody was like, "I'm gonna stab it with a knife," I'd be like, "All right, that doesn't do anything." But you have this sledgehammer basically, and you smash this thing's head, and it just kind of crumbles. But the paw that was kind of like raised up to strike down at you just wallops you really good as this thing kind of falls now lifeless and inanimate back to the ground. And so you take 6 damage.
My armor still protects from that, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
So and this is basically just being hit by a massive stone. Like clunk. But yeah. Meanwhile, Yeah. All right. So now we've got this room. Like a pillar has fallen down. Maybe Jeff and the Dirks don't even notice that this lion statue had come to life. But Roscoe's nowhere to be seen.
I'm done. Don't bother looking for me. Just be on your way.
And Roscoe, meanwhile, you're like looking in this mirror and you can tell this was the right decision. Only somebody who really knew what was going up, only a mage with the kind of cleverness, astuteness to notice all about him, exactly the best strategic place to be, would ever have decided this. Idiots just jump out of the way. You got to safety. Of course.
Book learning will do that for a man.
Yeah. You know, people make fun of you for having gone to school, but that's just because they're illiterate idiots.
Obviously. Especially daughter, who couldn't afford school if she wanted to.
That's right. Also, she may, in some references, conversations, be an inanimate object.
Who can say? Not daughter. She didn't go to school.
There you go. All right. So, meanwhile, outside of this chest, the Dirks are standing there. Gritta is like kind of breathing heavily, just got walloped by that lion paw, and Jeff had managed to get out of the way of those fallen rocks. Or no, Dirk pushed him out of the way, and a bunch of those rocks hit Dirk. So what's the game plan here?
Yeah, so game plan is to find the right path forward, and the best way forward is going to be one that is least dangerous, and that is Jeff's plan.
Say that again?
To find the right path forward.
Okay. Sounds like you're kind of surveying the landscape around you. Maybe you're discerning realities?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
Wisdom, right?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
All right, nice. All right, here's the shitty thing. You guys at first are kind of like looking. You're kind of looking around. You're like, oh, Rosco jumped in that. That's right. I saw Rosco leap into that chest. And there
you should definitely leave him.
Right.
Because he's happy.
Yeah. Right. Two things happen. One, Gritta, you're not distracted. You just defeated that lion cat monster. And you can feel that that sense of that ill portent, like that magical rippling kind of in things. It's kind of like reared itself up again. You feel like something's up. Some great source of power is shaking or rumbling. There's a tremor in some great source of power. But Jeff and the Dirks, the big thing that they realize is while they're kind of like maybe clearing off some of the rubble to get Rosco out of that chest that he leaped into for safety, there's a few more rocks that are being moved, and you realize it's like a goblin that's moving some stuff with you guys. And then and it kind of like once it sees that you notice it, it's kind of like and then runs like towards kind of like the place where you guys came in. And then you hear like that chittering and skittering noise. And pretty soon when you look over, you see at first all their eyes. And then that horde of these goblins comes in again. And now there's, like at least like 30 something, 40 something, maybe 50 something of these goblins that are pouring into this room. They have sticks and rocks. One goblin has like the severed hand of another goblin.
Nothing a couple Dirks can't handle.
What a crazy time. Dungeon World after the last battle is Leigh as Dirk Savage, David as Gritta Grimhammer, Alex as Jeff the Scowl, Carl as Rosco Tinklechimes, and Austin as your Game Master. Music by Austin and Alex. Not the one who plays Jeff. Dungeon World is a game by Sage Latora and Adam Cobell, if I'm saying that correctly. Join us next time on This American Dice for another exciting adventure of, well, next week, Legend of the Five Rings, Ryoko Wari, City of Lies. But a week after that, yet another episode of Dungeon World After the Last Battle.
I got a goblin, not for you and me. I got a goblin, smells like poop and pee. I got a goblin, always gnawing on me. Will somebody get rid of this goblin? Oh, my kind of goblin rocks around the clock. He got a little green head and a little green cock. My kind of goblin's gonna fuck a rock. Will somebody get rid of this goblin? I got a goblin not for you but me. I got a goblin loving hee. I got a goblin want it grinding on me. I think I fell in love with this goblin. Oh, my kind of goblin making sweet, sweet love. Gonna need a gauntlet, not just a glove. My little goblin and me like a two turtle doves. But it ain't legal to marry a goblin. I got a goblin for you and me. I got a goblin smells like poop and pee.